So what if I told you the future of pregnancy, it's not some far-off sci-fi movie scene? What if I told you it's actually happening in labs right now? And get this, it might even be on your wrist as we speak. Well, it is. And we are going to dive into just how.
I mean, really think about it. What if babies could grow in artificial wombs? What if the watch you're wearing could predict a miscarriage weeks before your doctor even has a clue? And what if we could edit our children's genes to completely wipe out diseases before they're even born?
You know, these aren't just late-night what-if questions anymore. As bioethicist Anna Iltis puts it, the train has left the station. The technology is already moving, and it's moving fast, whether we feel ready for it or not.
And that's really the heart of this entire explainer. We're not talking about science fiction. We're talking about real experiments, real technologies that are reshaping one of the most fundamental human experiences. And it's happening right now.
So our first stop is maybe the most mind-blowing of all. Our new ability to literally recreate the womb's environment and sustain life outside the body.
Okay, let's go back to April 2017. Researchers at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, they did something that sounds like it's straight out of a movie. They took a lamb fetus, we're talking the equivalent of a 23-week human baby, and placed it inside this fluid-filled bag they nicknamed the biobag. And the incredible part? It didn't just survive in there, it actually grew.
So what made this thing so revolutionary? Well, previous attempts at artificial wombs always used these harsh external pumps that could really damage fragile organs. But the genius of the biobag is that it works with the body, not against it. It lets the fetus's own tiny little heart do all the work, pumping blood through an artificial placenta that provides oxygen, almost exactly like it would in a real womb. It's just incredible. And the result of all this? They kept these lambs going for 28 days. 28! And in that time, the researchers literally watched them open their eyes, grow wool, and get more active. One of those lambs even went on to live a totally normal life on a farm in Pennsylvania. This wasn't just about survival. This was about true development. So why does this matter for us, for humans? Well, in the US alone, about 30,000 babies are born extremely premature every single year. A few extra weeks in a gentle, womb-like environment like this could be the difference between life and death. Or, a life with severe disabilities versus a healthy one. The FDA is already talking about human trials, which could be just a few years away. So while the biobag is tackling the end of pregnancy, there's another piece of tech unlocking the secrets of the very, very beginning. It's called a womb on a chip. And it's basically this tiny, transparent slide with living uterine cells that lets scientists watch a human embryo implant live right under a microscope. And the power of this? It's huge. Miscarriage affects something like 1 in 4 pregnancies, and so often it's this devastating mystery. Well, for the first time ever, this tech lets scientists actually watch implantation succeed or fail. They can study what goes wrong at the molecular level and even test drugs that might one day prevent it. Okay, so let's shift from the lab and bring it even closer to home. So the data that's being generated on our own bodies. This second major shift is all about the rise of the data-driven pregnancy. This number, over 5,600, is the number of women who took part in a really groundbreaking study called PowerMom. They all volunteered to share the data from their personal wearable devices, like their Fitbits and Apple Watches. And in doing so, they created one of the biggest pregnancy monitoring studies ever. So the study was tracking all those little signals our bodies send out every day. Subtle changes in our resting heart rate, our sleep patterns, how active we are, our body temperature. And by collecting all this data continuously, not just during pregnancy, but before and after, the researchers got this unprecedented picture of the body's entire journey. And what they found was just remarkable. It turns out these devices can pick up on the hormonal shifts of early pregnancy even before a standard test can. But even more stunning, pregnancies that ended in miscarriage actually showed different heart rate patterns. Your watch might know there's a problem before you do. Just think about that. And trust me, this is not some niche little trend. The market for wearable pregnancy devices is projected to hit nearly $19 billion by 2032. This technology is going mainstream, and it's going there fast, supercharged by AI that can analyze all that data and give you personalized, real-time advice. But of course, there's a flip side to all this data, right? A bit of a dark side. You have to ask, who actually owns your most intimate health information? And could that data be used against you, say by insurance companies looking to deny coverage? And then there's the human element. What's the psychological toll here? Does turning pregnancy into this 24/7 surveillance mission just create a whole new level of anxiety for parents? All right, on to our third and, let's be honest, most controversial topic: the power to not just monitor pregnancy, but to literally rewrite our own genetic code.
Now, this timeline, it recaps a story that sent absolute shockwaves through the scientific world. When the scientist He Jiankui announced the first gene-edited babies back in 2018, the backlash was immediate. He was condemned, imprisoned, but his experiment proved it was possible. And now that he's out and back doing research, it's pretty clear that genie is well and truly out of the bottle.
And this right here is the absolute core of the ethical debate. On one hand, this technology holds this unbelievable promise of wiping out horrific genetic diseases forever. But on the other hand, it could open the door to a future with a genetic divide between the rich and the poor, and it runs the risk of permanently changing our species in ways we just can't predict. And that's the crucial thing to understand here. While the world condemned what He Jiankui did, the technology itself has only gotten better, more precise. So the conversation in the scientific community is slowly but surely shifting from if we should ever do this to, okay, when, how, and for what conditions. So, where does all of this leave us? We've got artificial wombs, data-driven pregnancies, gene editing. It all points to a future that's going to be defined by a series of really profound choices that we have to make together as a society. In this chart, this shows maybe the biggest challenge of all: equity. In a world where we can literally grow lambs in bags, the maternal mortality rate in crisis regions is still more than double the global average. Why? Because millions of women don't have access to even the most basic care. So it forces us to ask, who will all this incredible new technology actually serve? We're left facing these enormous questions. I mean, who gets to decide which diseases are bad enough to be edited out of existence? How do we stop a future where a baby's health depends completely on their parents' bank account? And in this age of constant data, how do we hold on to the uniquely human, messy, beautiful connection of pregnancy? Look, the science is not waiting for us to figure this all out. It is racing ahead at an unbelievable pace. So the final question really is for all of us. Are we ready? Are we having the conversations we absolutely need to have to make sure these technologies lead to a better future for everyone? Because that future, it's arriving, whether we're ready for it or not.